Hey Stitch family, it's Andrew here with a new community update. I know, it's been a while since my last one. But really, I blame you. You're all keeping me so busy with everything that's happening in the community, whether it's questions you've got, or members volunteering to get involved, or even just coming along to events and activities. Stitch is such a big part of my life that I'm doing it pretty much 24/7, and sometimes I simply run out of time to do anything else. But that's a good thing. I wouldn't have it any other way. So, what's this week's community update all about? This week, we've been inspired by the fact that the World Health Organization has just announced that loneliness is a global health priority. The WHO Director General, Dr. Tedros Ghebreyesus, said that high rates of social isolation and loneliness around the world have serious consequences for health and well-being, and that people without enough strong social connections are at a higher risk of stroke, anxiety, dementia, depression, suicide, and more. That's interesting. You know, it's been 10 years, next year it's going to be 10 years since Stitch first launched. And I started working on Stitch even before that, which means I've been banging on about social connections for over a decade. And I can remember the very first time I got up on stage and said loneliness was as bad for your health as smoking or obesity, people just looked at me sideways. They didn't believe it. So I've got to say it's immensely rewarding now to see the big institutions of the world really starting to get behind the idea, take it seriously, and hopefully do something about it. In the WHO announcement, Dr. Ghebreyesus said that the WHO will help establish social connection as a global health priority and share the most promising interventions. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that's pretty good news. And I certainly hope they're going to take a long, hard look at Stitch. From the outside, Stitch just looks like a community where people have fun. But you and I know it's a lot more than that. Stitch has a very serious social mission and has been built from day one to make an impact on loneliness and isolation. Now, I'm obviously a bit biased, so what I think isn't quite as important as what the research says about the impact that we all, as a community, are making. But luckily, one of the great things about my job is that I get to spend a fair bit of time reading research into happiness and well-being and looking at how it applies to Stitch. And recently, I've been spending time looking at the world's longest and one of the most well-regarded studies into human happiness and well-being in the world. And that's the Harvard study of adult development. It's been running for 85 years. So it has lots of data and insights into how to live a life full of happiness, well-being, health, and longevity. Now, the current director of the program is Robert Waldinger. He's a psychiatrist at the Massachusetts General Hospital and professor of psychiatry at the Harvard Medical School. And he's given a TED talk about the program, which is enormously popular. It's been watched over 46 million times. Definitely worth a watch if you've got time. But Harvard has been publishing the findings of the study for decades as the study participants have got older and older. And the researchers have been able to look at the whole picture of what makes life worth living. And one thing that comes through again and again is the importance of human relationships. The people who are most satisfied with their relationships at age 50, for example, were the ones who are healthiest at age 80. They report lower levels not just of disease and illness, but physical pain. Even their memory stays sharper longer for people who've got good social connections. There are literally hundreds of findings like these in the study. But you don't have to go to the trouble of reading them all about each and every finding, because one of the best articles that I read about the study quite recently actually boiled the most recent outcomes into 7 key findings. And it blew me away how relevant every single one is to members of Stitch, which means they are relevant to you. So I knew when I read the article, I should probably share them with you in a community update like this. So without further ado, here they are, the 7 key truths from Harvard's 85-year study into human happiness. So it might not come as a surprise to you that the first finding is that the number one key to a happy life is having quality relationships. And of course, that's very relevant to us because that's the whole point of Stitch, helping our members create, nurture, and grow positive social connections. The second finding is that the biggest barrier to happiness is loneliness. It's not poverty, it's not poor health, it's loneliness. So when you organise an activity on Stitch, or even if you just attend an activity that someone else organised, or you connect with someone through the forums, or even just one-on-one, you're doing your bit to make a difference in the lives of other people. And I think that's awesome. The third finding was an interesting one, and that is that being introverted is not a disadvantage. In fact, introverts may actually have an advantage as they don't need so many social connections to meet their needs. There's actually something we see a lot in the community. Some of our members love organising these huge, incredible events with lots of members. I'm going to one in a couple of weeks' time, 200 attendees. That's amazing. But those events can be intimidating for some people. And the vast majority of Stitch activities actually have just a handful of attendees, a walk with 4 people or a small coffee catch up. And the research tells us that often it's these interactions in smaller groups, repetitively, that are critical for building real and lasting social connections. The fourth key finding is beware of social media. Social media like Facebook or Instagram can make you feel as if you're making connections, but the reality for many people is they feel forced to present themselves differently on social media than the way they feel inside, pretending to be living a fabulous life. There's a feeling judged or being judged, and even worse are the trolls. Online, it just takes one person out of 100 to ruin your day, even if the other 99 were nice to you. So that's why we've put a lot of work into the community rules and guidelines on Stitch and built a system that will reward the behaviour we encourage, like being welcoming, being kind, being supportive. And if you're not sure what those behaviours are, check out the Stitch community guidelines. And the system restricts those members who consistently exhibit behaviour that has a negative impact on other members. The fifth finding of the Harvard study is that wealth is not as important as a sense of purpose. That's one of the reasons I make videos like these. We want all our members to understand that they can play a role in having a positive impact on the lives of other members. Members tell us all the time that Stitch changed their life. And it can only do that because of the organisers and the members who make the community what it is. Everyone at Stitch has a purpose, and that's to make the lives of other members better. Some people go above and beyond, and that's amazing, but everyone plays a role. The sixth finding from the study is that it's critical to take care of your health. That's always easier said than done. There are obviously many physical conditions that can't be cured with social connections, but we know there's a huge link between building social connections and maintaining your health. And even within Stitch, we've done studies that show that members who become active socially in the community also report a 40% increase in their physical activity. They report being more active, having better diets, having improved physical and mental health. Now finally, the last and maybe the most important finding from the study, it's never too late to improve your happiness. And really, that's what Stitch members are doing each and every day, whether they're in their 50s or in their 90th. They're showing it really is never too late to improve their happiness. So what do you think? I think it's a pretty darn good list, and I love the fact that every single finding of the study relates in some way to Stitch. Everything we're trying to do here at Stitch is built around the idea of improving the well-being and happiness of as many people as we can. And we're only able to do it because you're part of the Stitch community. So thank you. Keep it up. And here's looking forward to what we can achieve together as the community grows. Bye for now.